and thank you for joining today to watch the talk. And thank you very much for the organizing team for having me here today. I'm Rugilė Stonytė, I'm Senior FinTech Investment Advisor at Invest Lithuania. And for the past 2 years, I have been helping international FinTech companies to discover opportunities in Lithuania. After the talk, there will be a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them on the wall and we'll try to answer them. So at first, I thought that today I would present you Lithuania's FinTech value proposition and talk about how we are fourth largest FinTech hub globally, how we have more than 200 FinTech companies in Lithuania. But then I realized that since you are attending FinTech Week Lithuania, you might know a thing or two about FinTech ecosystem of Lithuania. And therefore, I thought it would be better to talk about the reasons and the journey that Lithuania had, which brought us as leaders in this sector. Because I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people who didn't follow our journey closely, woke up one morning and they were surprised to see Lithuania in the map of international global FinTech hubs. So to answer the question how Lithuania became a major FinTech hub, in my opinion, is by being agile, innovative, cooperative, ambitious, and persistent country. Of course, we are humble enough to recognize that these attributes has helped us, but is not the only reason. We have to be thankful for favorable circumstances. Before an expected Brexit vote, London was and still is the largest financial center of Europe and the largest FinTech hub in Europe. But what Brexit did was to give opportunity for other European countries, such as Netherlands, Germany, Ireland, and Lithuania, to put themselves on the map. So, Lithuania regained its independence 30 years ago, so we are a rather young country, and also a small one. We are only 2.8 million population, which makes us very flexible. And even in the pandemic situation, we are very quick to orient ourselves. And having just one case in the country, we closed down the borders, we implemented strict measures, and thanks to them, at the moment, we are in the rather good situation. Also, businesses and institutions, they adapted to the new normal very quickly and even managed to score efficiency levels working from home higher than they had before. Another important thing is our adaptive talent pool. So historically, Lithuanians had very strong math and engineering skills, but when IT sector started booming, a lot of people has shifted to that sector. And at the moment, Lithuania hosts more than 38,000 ICT specialists and very good developers. Also, Lithuanians are very keen on education. We are first in EU for the share of population with higher education degree. So indeed, the mentality, no university diploma, no future, is very prevalent in our country. Furthermore, having just about 4 million people globally speak our language, we start learning foreign languages at a very young age. And not only English, but also the others. At the moment, about 52% of Lithuanians are fluent in at least 2 foreign languages. So this sets a perfect basis to provide talent pool for international global brands that are present in Lithuania. For example, Nasdaq, Moody's, Danske Bank, who have more than 4,000 specialists in Lithuania, as well as Western Union with more than 2,000 employees speaking 35 different languages and serving their customers globally from Lithuania. Being agile also touches our central bank, Bank of Lithuania, which is also a regulator of Lithuania's financial market. So some years ago, it was realized that Lithuania's financial market lacked competition, and there were only a few major banks that provided services in Lithuania. So one of the initiatives that Bank of Lithuania has taken to improve the situation was to increase the competition. So they streamlined their processes, they adapted the newest EU regulations to our legal framework so that they would be able to license electronic money and payment institutions. And thanks to a young, ambitious and very effective team, they were able to do it faster than other regulators. And they don't stop there. Bank of Lithuania continuously works to improve their competences and risk management. I believe a lot of regulators sometimes are too slow to react to the market changes, whereas in Lithuania it was opposite. Bank of Lithuania was catalyst for innovation and open opportunities for new business models to work. And thanks to that, at the moment we have a lot of opportunities to send money internationally rather than only going to incumbent banks or Western Union. We're able to lend to our peers, and e-commerce businesses have opportunity to have cheaper and more flexible payment processing services, and etc. At the moment, Bank of Lithuania is recognized globally. In 2018, they were recognized as the catalyst in global banking globally. In 2019, they were invited to present their fintech strategy to the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. And they continue being invited to international major fintech conferences. Another important attribute to our success is being innovative. Lithuania has one of the best digital infrastructures in the world, starting from a fast and cheap internet to cybersecurity infrastructure ranked as one of the best. And this sets very secure and reliable background for businesses to establish here. Furthermore, our community are very adaptive to new products and are eager to test them. For example, when Revolut launched their app in Lithuania around 2017, very quickly a lot of people knew about them and they had this app on their phones. And actually at some point we were one of the largest markets for Revolut. Of course, that's until they went global and they became a unicorn. But even today, new entrants in the market find new customers rather quickly because Lithuanians are very eager to try and test new products. Bank of Lithuania also is very innovative. They introduced central link infrastructure, which allows EU-licensed financial institutions to send and receive their SEPA payments directly through the regulator, skipping the middleman commercial banks. Furthermore, they opened several sandboxes so that innovative businesses would have an opportunity to test their products under the supervision and guidance of the Bank of Lithuania. And this provides benefits to both sides because Bank of Lithuania is able to monitor the trends in the market and actually influence the innovation, and fintech companies are getting the support that they need. So being agile and being innovative are the core attributes why we became successful. But that would not have happened if we weren't cooperative. Because if one goes to the left, another one goes to the right, you're not going forward. So back in 2016, Bank of Lithuania, Ministry of Finance and Invest Lithuania has formed and confirmed a fintech strategy. Back then in 2016, we only had about 80 fintech companies in Lithuania, and at the moment, we already have over 200. So the process of going to conferences, meeting with international investors, helped for the world to know what Lithuania and fintech has in common. As the time went by, more institutions joined Cooperation for FinTech, and at the moment we have a work group of more than 10 institutions that are working shoulder to shoulder to reach the common goal, to become innovative and safe jurisdiction for fintech companies. I'm very happy as well that in our ecosystem we have very active associations and hubs. So they not only help local fintech startups to scale and develop, but they also welcome and help international fintech companies to adapt to our infrastructure and ecosystem faster. Another important element to our success is being ambitious. When we set out our strategy, we didn't just say, let's try and we see what will happen. We had a very clear goal that we want to become gateway to European Union for global, innovative, transparent businesses. And so we worked very hard towards that goal and continuously try to improve our ecosystem. So as it comes to international fintech companies, it is our job at Invest Lithuania to find and help those investors to land to Lithuania. So we went to global conferences, we organized events internationally, and we spread the word about Lithuania. And I believe currently we are reaping the results of our work. Challenge me and I'll deliver is a motto that a lot of Lithuanians go by, and that can be seen from some of our local frontrunners. For example, TransferGo, Manobank, Paysera, Ondato, SME Finance, FinB, and many others who have created products that are widely used not only in Lithuania, but in the whole Europe or even further. And as you can see from this map, that indeed our hard work has paid off. At the moment, Lithuania hosts more than 200 fintech companies, and some of the largest brands you're able to see here. So Shift4 Payments, Revel Systems, Mambu, Railsbank with their engineering teams in Lithuania, Revolut with almost 200 employees and specialized bank license in Lithuania, as well as Num, SumUp, who are bringing their product to European Union market through their Lithuanian EMI license. And I must say, we're not stopping here. We have some other big names on their way to Lithuania. And the final element to our success, in my opinion, is being persistent. So we are proactively working to improve our investment environment and also to provide talent pool not only for the local fintech companies, but for the international companies that come to Lithuania. So initiatives such as retraining programs, university and business collaborations, as well as inviting our diaspora back to Lithuania, helps to expand our talent pool. Furthermore, I think we very critically try to look at ourselves and see, and we're very open as well to the feedback, so how we can improve ourselves. So for example, a few years ago, we gathered feedback from our investors that Lithuania did not have the best connection to UK. So after a few years of hard work, we now have a direct connection, Vilnius, London City. Another example is taxes. So it was realized at some point that we are not very competitive when it comes to stock options taxing. So in some time, we now have come from 31.8% to 0, which makes us competitive in this field as well. Also, we are continuously trying to evaluate ourselves and find new angles where we can differentiate ourselves and evolve. So one of the examples is that since fintech companies have started more actively to establish in Lithuania, we really felt a need for compliance and ML specialists. Also, the need came from the commercial banks who expanded their operations in this field. And within a very short period of time, Lithuania managed to grow their talent pool of more than 2,000 AML and compliance specialists in Lithuania. And final note is that tomorrow is not yesterday. For us, a great example is Singapore, who managed to turn around their country in just 50 years and become a major financial center worldwide. So the fact that Lithuania doesn't have financial sector history or traditions doesn't mean that we cannot create them now. And the same applies for the companies. A great example are General Motors, who managed to transform themselves and save the company. They continue to inspire corporations not to give up even when it seems that everything is going down the hill. And also the same for fintechs. If you find it difficult to find new customers, if you're not able to compete with other unicorns, doesn't mean that you cannot become one tomorrow. If you stay agile, if you are innovative, if you are ambitious and persistent, who knows, maybe tomorrow you will reach your goal. So if you found these values similar to yourselves, and also if you're looking for location to expand your business, contact us, Invest Lithuania. Being official governmental agency responsible for foreign direct investment and business development in Lithuania will help you by providing all the information you need, by connecting you to the ecosystem, and by guiding you through the whole process of the establishment. So thank you very much. I hope you found it useful.
Thank you very much, Rugila.
Thank you.
Do you know what? I was listening to your presentation, and as a matter of fact, it sounds very inspiring, and in general, I think makes us a little bit proud, not only of you guys at Invest Lithuania, but of Lithuania in general. So that's a really kind of warm, fuzzy feeling.
Thank you. Glad to hear that.
I have a couple of questions for you,
course.
though. And I can also see that our viewers from the internet are coming along with their questions as well. So we're gonna.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that.
We're gonna ask you quite a few of those.
Okay.
All
sure.
right. So fintech, right? So why has fintech been chosen as a priority strategy for Lithuania, do you think?
I think in this case, it's important to recognize that fintech is not the only sector that we are working very hard on. Generally, technology, global business services, manufacturing are just some of the other sectors where Lithuania is thriving. But if looking from the finance perspective, I think, fintech is very simple. It's nothing very revolutionary, just finance plus technology. And if you want to stay in the game, you have to follow what's happening in the world. So in order to stay in the business, well, we decided to have to try harder to compete with other very good countries.
I can see so far you're very successful at that. Singapore's example sounds like a very good proposition for us, right? We don't have any history, but we still have the potential because we have.
Exactly.
We're small, but we're strong.
Exactly, we believe so.
Great. What type of companies do you think can benefit from being part of Lithuania's FinTech hub?
So probably, as you could have grasped from my presentation, one of the key pillars, of course, is our regulator. So we do have a very good infrastructure for financial companies to establish here, and then, of course, provide their services within Lithuania, but also passport that across European Union. I think the most important part is, as always in business, it's not about, the front lines, it's about the people that are working behind the scenes. So I think in the end of the day, it's our talent pool that attracts the companies. And it's not only engineering, but it's also, customer support, operations, compliance, NML, business development. And, I could name further, but I think these are the basic ones that at the moment attracts attention of international players. And another thing is also, I think, that we are not that saturated. We don't have yet the largest players. So even those, middle-sized fintech companies, when they come to Lithuania, they're able to hire the top-notch talent pool.
Yeah, that's great. And let's just take one question from the audience. The question sounds like this. What are the tax breaks, if any, for foreign businesses that are considering to move their operations to Lithuania?
So tax-wise, we don't have exclusions for international businesses. They pay the same tax as everybody else, which is 15% corporate income tax. But there are some opportunities if you are developing R&D product to get the support from the government, tax-wise, but also the financial support. But I think, looking at the tax is only a small part. Don't forget that Lithuania is still a little bit cheaper than Western Europe, and our offices, which are A-class, are a little bit cheaper than in Germany or in London. So that provides a lot of benefit for the companies and a lot of savings.
So but we don't really compete that much, so we have competitive prices of office space, right?
Yeah.
What about salary-wise?
So salary-wise as well, I think we're still competitive. of course, if looking at the very senior level, it's not the case because, the competition for the talent has become global. So if you're a senior developer with 10 plus years of experience, doesn't matter where you are, you're going to be headhunted. But if looking to junior or medium experience specialists, I think we're still more competitive than Western Europe and definitely more than US. And I think that's also one of the angles why businesses choose Lithuania. And I think especially in the current situation where everybody is, trying to cut costs because, the future is a bit unknown, I think Lithuania can be an excellent location because not only you will get top talent, but also you will make some savings.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it doesn't really matter with the mobility and with our ability to broadcast remotely throughout the entire world. Technology enables us to do work miracles, right? You can be in Alytus or in Singapore and do the same quality work.
Exactly. What we hear from our investors that, who have teams in Lithuania, they said the work that didn't change, the employees even got more efficient. So I think that shows how people are adaptive here.
Absolutely. Some stats. So I hear that there are, 210 fintechs operating out of Lithuania right now?
As of the end of 2019, but...
it was quite an impressive growth since 2016, right?
Indeed.
How do you see the fintech landscape will change in the next 12 months in Lithuania and in general in Europe?
So, of course, Lithuanian market follows the global trends, and we definitely see a little slowdown just because people don't know what to expect in the future. But it, again, depends on the business type. So, for example, companies in B2B sector, they are thriving right now. E-commerce is thriving. When it comes to consumer side businesses, of course, transaction volumes have slowed down a little bit, but as I see, they're staying positive, and if everything goes well, business will go back to normal. So the same for Lithuania. I think when looking from international investors' perspective, of course, some of them have slowed down their plans of expansion, which is very natural, but I'm very glad to see that a lot of them continue with their plans, and I believe after a year, we'll definitely have a larger fintech hub than today.
Okay, I have another question from the audience. Are you aware of your USP, knowing Eastern and Western markets?
Yes, so our unique selling points, of course, so that's our daily job. As I mentioned, we continuously revise and try to critically look at ourselves to see where we can improve, what we can do better, and we always welcome feedback in regards to that. And of course, we always compare to ourselves with other markets. So, it would be very difficult to extinguish right now, because Eastern and Western markets are very different. But if looking to Western markets, as I mentioned, we perhaps are more cheaper. If we're comparing ourselves to the Eastern market, I think we are more adaptable and we are more business focused. So, you don't need a manager behind your back for you to do your job. People are very independent and they're very goal-driven. And as I mentioned before, give them a challenge and they'll deliver and they will exceed it.
Yeah, that's something that kind of also is a proud thing, right? A character that we developed. And what are the new opportunities for fintechs in Lithuania in the current situation, do you think?
In the current situation, I would probably repeat myself, is that adaptability. So that, the quarantine did not stop the business. Everything was functioning perfectly. But I think looking to the future, there will be more opportunities. We see RegTech and cybersecurity businesses flourishing. So as I mentioned before, Lithuania has quite recognized cybersecurity infrastructure. So that will provide benefits for these type of businesses to establish here and develop further. And of course, open banking and other initiatives or business segments that were already thriving before, they continue to expand now.
And I'm also interested in the fintech evolution or the journey in Lithuanian jurisdiction. Can you tell a little bit more about the processes of getting an SPB license?
So I think I might have forgotten to mention that during my presentation. So yeah, so Bank of Lithuania introduced a specialized bank license, which is issued by European Central Bank and allows a holding entity to provide loans and also take in deposits. So the process is rather simple, but at the same time very, very complicated. So, you know, if you're aiming for that type of license, you probably should get legal advisors that will help you in the process to set up your documentation, meet the regulator, and basically prepare your documents, submit, and then have a rather long, about 12 months wait from the Bank of Lithuania and also from ECB to evaluate your application. But we've noticed that this license has attracted a lot of attention globally, and quite many of them are currently in the process of getting them.
So that's also kind of a competitive advantage that we
yes.
have. Okay, so one last question.
Sure.
Has your fintech strategy paid off? What is the benefits of it that you could see?
So from my perspective, or from our agency's perspective, of course, we look at the job places created, and we are very happy to see that our sector has grown rapidly, and as of the end of 2019 we had more than 3,400 people employed in the fintech sector in Lithuania. So I think that's great. And another benefit is for the final consumer. So as I mentioned before, you have more innovative products, you have cheaper products, more opportunities. So I think that's as good as it can get.
Thank you very much, Rugila, for the conversation.
Very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now we move forward.